What's up, guys? It's Noah, and I'm just going to check in with you and talk about a little something that's on my mind, on my heart. Real quick, my story, if you would like to know it, it is right down there in the description. Just a little brief rundown of what my deal is, what medications I'm on, and my testosterone treatment and why I'm on it. So, the reason I have a bald head is because I felt stable enough to go to a party, Halloween party, and I was. Here we go. And I was Bane from Batman. And I actually make a relatively good Bane because, one, I got the dome that's all shaved, and two, I'm kind of a bulky guy, so like I can fit the part well. Anyway, that's why I'm bald. Um, and thanks to being on testosterone and exercising a lot, I got pretty big arms, so felt good just to have people give me compliments about that tonight, and made me feel good about myself, and I appreciate that. To be perfectly honest. So I've been getting a lot of messages from guys that are brand new, fresh in their like mental breakdown. To be frank, and women too. But I just know that this channel revolves around men. So I wanted to do a little video for them, for you. If you are new in your mind suddenly acting up, this can be major depression, anxiety, depersonalization. Basically, if you're struggling all of a sudden, and or maybe you've been slowly descending into chaos of the mind, be it agitation, panic, suicidal feelings, despair, hopelessness, lack of energy, lack of libido, anything that you could chalk up to, yeah, I should probably keep that on because I'm distracted by my bald head. There we go. And I don't want you guys to be distracted by my bald head. Anything that you can chalk up to feeling horrible, there's a few things I would suggest that you do. So, first of all, I'm really sorry for your suffering. It's not fair. You're probably having a lot of questions like, why is this happening to me? When is this going to stop? What's going on? I'm going to die. Am I going to die? I'm never going to feel better. There's a lot of things that run through your head when you're starting to have a mental breakdown, or you're starting to panic, or you're starting to derealize and depersonalize, and it's very frightening, and it's very hard, and you need support, and you need to know that someone else out there has been through it, and I have, and I do care. So this video is for you. So first of all, what you should do, no matter what, is if you feel suicidal, you need to tell someone. You have to tell somebody, because when I was in the beginning of my mental breakdown, which started for me May 18th of 2011, if you guys have watched any of my videos, you know that I bring up that date a lot. It's because I took a medication called Vivitrol and had a rare reaction to it, and it literally just lightning bolted me into a major depressive episode with derealization, depersonalization, and severe anxiety. I could not remotely see out of the fray for myself. I needed someone else to be the voice of reason. I honestly could only basically identify with how miserable I felt, and that's about it. I mean, I could basically only, I couldn't see through it. I couldn't see past it. That was it. I was miserable. I was panicking. I felt afraid and numb and so hopeless and just despairing that all I could think about was dying, and that I couldn't make it another minute. If you're feeling that way, or maybe not quite that severe, or maybe just as severe, you have to talk to someone. You cannot internalize it. You can't try to keep it to yourself. It's dangerous and it's serious. Now, assuming you've done that and someone knows that something's going on bad, now there's a million little things you need to try to do, but the most important thing is to get through day one at a time. Get through each day, each hour, each minute. Just focus at the very most on that day. You can do it. You will survive. Now, besides doing that, you need to start upping your self-care. You need to, once you gain support, you need to assess little things that you can do to minimize the pain, minimize the agony. If you drink a lot, you got to let go of the drinking. If you got drug issues, you got to let go of the drugging. You got to cut back on caffeine. You need to stay away from the internet, which is another one. You got to be careful with what you see. Now, I like to think that I can be a voice of reason for you if you're suffering, but there's a lot of things out there that are going to just make you more afraid, and they're not helpful. They're not healthy, and if anything, they can be antagonistic in the way that they cause you to think of yourself. You cannot compare yourself to other people. So if you are suffering, let's say, just from anxiety, anxiety is the key component of your condition right now, and it's terrible and you don't know what's going on, you need to realize that you are an individual, okay? You are not another person's anxiety disorder. Their time frame for how long they've been sick, or when they got better, or if they got better, or what they needed does not necessarily have to apply to you. Now, I'm not saying it couldn't in a good way, but a lot of people, and I was that person, when I was in the real shit of it, I was looking for answers. I was looking for people to tell me what was going on, and I was taking everything a little too seriously. Not in terms of like, oh, I'm taking myself too seriously. That was important. I was taking everything I heard to heart to a fault, in the sense that if I read somewhere, oh, a major depression could last a year, 2 years, 3 years, I immediately was like, oh my God, I'm not going to last 3 years. I can't last 2 years. I can't last a day. I'm going to die. I'm dead. I would jump to really harsh conclusions. Or when someone said depersonalization, that could never go away. I mean, when you read stuff like that, it just sends you further down the hole. So right now, all you have to do is get through each day. That's it. Your job is to stay alive and to find someone else that is capable of being the strength, the voice of reason, the stability that you can't be for yourself. Now, treatment options, you're going to want to start discussing that and figuring that out immediately. One thing guys on here know, if they've watched my videos, is that I tried a ton of different treatment in terms of, I went from shock therapy to a bunch of different medications, and I eventually found out, like a year into my mental breakdown, into my major depressive agitated disorder, I found out I had really low testosterone, and I did that through a blood test, which I encourage you to do. And that ended up being a huge factor for me. I had treatment-resistant depression, found out I had low testosterone, and for the first time I had just a flicker, just a smidgen of hope that I wasn't going to die, and that I might somehow, God knows how, I might get better. I feel kind of funny that I kept this on the whole time, because it's such a serious topic. Whatever. Okay, sorry. Not important. So I want you to take that and use that information, hormones. We're going to have to figure out what's going on with you, okay? It could just be a food allergy. It could literally be that you have a crazy bad food allergy. I've heard of stuff like that. Find out a food sensitivity panel if you can. Check out your hormones and your blood levels. Make sure you're not a diabetic and you're just having some sort of reaction to the fact that you need insulin. Make sure your testosterone and your prolegnolone and your LH and your HGH. Make sure everything's in check. That could be an issue. Most important thing is to realize that something is going on on a physiological level inside of you that can be corrected. Whatever that means. If medications end up being the right route for you, then we'll find them. You'll find them. Just stay in the present. Focus on getting through each day, and just do the little things you can to start piecing out, putting together what needs to happen for your personal program to get you better. Find a good psychiatrist or therapist you trust. Cleanse the body and start eating clean. Don't drink, don't drug. Get support, rest where you can. And depending on how severe your situation is, you won't be able to exercise, because I wasn't for a long time. Look, I've made this way too broad, and it's gotten long. People that need to see this video are still watching. I know you are. Look, most important thing is to know that you're not by yourself, and that you can and you will heal. I didn't believe there was even a remote chance that I could possibly heal. Now I have found a treatment that seems to be slowly but progressively pulling me out of the darkness that I thought I was truly going to be stuck in forever. And it would only cease when I killed myself. That's what I thought my options were. I found out I had the low testosterone. I got started replacing that hormone, and I've been crawling out of the abyss. That was a tool that I used that's been working, but I do a lot of other things. I do a lot of self-care, and I just want you to know that you can as well. So this video kind of got all over the place, like most of my videos tend to get. But I think I'll stop it at that. Just if you are basically, just wanted you to at least hear it from someone who has brushed death and slowly been crawling back to life, that it is possible and you're okay. And you will be okay and you will heal. It's just going to take as much time as it's going to take. So stay away from the internet. It's not always productive unless you're here. I like to think this is going to be of use to you. Be careful what you read. Remember, you're an individual. What happens with you does not reflect what happened to someone else exactly, and I mean that in the sense that I don't want you to get scared about what's going on with other people. Remember, you're you, and we're going to figure out what's going on with you, and you can figure out what's going on with you, and we'll solve it. It's going to take time, and you're going to have to just be brave and grind it out. So if you're depressed, anxious, depersonalized, or you just have all the symptoms of low testosterone, which is just like no energy, low libido, depending on what's going on with you, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. It's going to suck more than anything's ever sucked. It's going to be the scariest, most rough thing ever, but you're going to be okay, and you're going to experience relief, and it'll come in really small bits at first, and then it gets longer. So, Shazam, 12-minute video for you guys. My name again is Noah, and you can message me anytime. The best way, by the way, guys, to make sure that I get your comments or your messages is to write me a personal message. I don't always get alerts when I get comments. I just don't. So I'm missing people. I'm pretty sure it's happening where I'm like, people are like, why didn't he write me back? So it's important to me to get back to anyone that needs to reach out. If I didn't get back to you, it's very likely that I didn't realize you tried to get a hold of me or you wrote me a comment. So personal messages, I almost always recognize those, and they never miss an alert for that. So you can reach out to me and I can offer you support. I'm going to put a link in the description for a website called healingfromdepression.com. I'm not sponsored by them. There's no catch to me offering that website. The man who runs it happens to run a support group that I go to. He's a brilliant guy. He's extremely smart, and he's been through so many major depressive episodes and so many hospitalizations and so many I almost killed myself moments that he knows dark places, and he knows how to get out of them and stay out of them. So check that website out if you're scared. He'll support you, and I'll support you, and we'll get through this. So it's just as a matter of figuring out what exactly you need, what treatment you need, what your plan's going to be. But there is so many possibilities that you just have to not worry about how am I going to get better. You will, as long as you just stay alive. I think I probably repeated that 100 times, but I know that I needed reassurance, so I'm here to reassure you. I want you to look right into these eyes and recognize the sincerity and the honesty in what I'm saying, okay? Okay. So, God, I could do a lot more videos than I probably have, and maybe be beneficial if I started trying to do a little bit more. So I'll do an update on my testosterone and how that's going. I got some more simple videos coming up here on Knockout. This is on my heart. I've been getting a lot of messages from guys, and they need to see this, because I would have really appreciated this video if I were, God, when I was in the beginning of my breakdown. I was so scared. So don't be afraid, okay? And I'll do another video soon. Take care.